Hey everybody, and in today's NFT news 5 under 10 minutes, we're going to cover the following. Article number 1, Eternity releases limited edition authenticated NFT in collaboration with the Associated Press, AP for short. Number 2, NFTs make it possible for gamers to have digital property rights. Number 3, sci-fi or blockchain reality. In Ready Player One, Oasis can be built. Number 4, Russia's famous Hermitage Museum aims to raise funds with NFTs. And the last one will be the virtual real estate takes off with backing from billionaire Mike Novogratz. Okay, so to start with the first one, as I mentioned, Eternity releases a limited edition authenticated NFT in collaboration with the Associated Press, or AP for short. So Eternity, the community-oriented platform that produces limited edition authenticated non-fungible tokens, or NFTs for short, is collaborating with the Associated Press to bring to life iconic AP photo of American soldiers raising the flag on Iwo Jima. You can see it here on the screen. I think that's worldwide a very well-known photo. Obviously, yesterday being the 4th of July, it's very timely. But I just wanted to highlight this one because of a couple of cool things. So like what the NFT includes is a full motion 3D digitalization, right? You can kind of see that up here. What it also does is gives you like allows you to have a 360 degree look around the whole image, which I thought was pretty cool. You also will receive a digital copy of the first print ever made. There'll be like more images, like additional ones, some film footage, audio, and all that kind of stuff. So they're just adding it all in. I thought that was pretty cool. I just wanted to mention that one. Okay, this is one of the better articles I think for today. It's the NFT make it possible for gamers to have digital property rights. So every day we hear of more involvement by big industry players, for example, Epic Games or Roblox, as we creep closer to a metaverse, the shared persistent virtual environment of interconnected digital experiences. So I'm sure you all know the metaverse from Digital Player One. The next article goes a bit deeper into Digital Player One, but for now, I thought this was pretty cool. I actually didn't know that they were called, instead of citizens, like netizens, which was cool. But yeah, so this article goes into the kind of traditional way of gaming and then what the future may look like with blockchain. So here, I'm just going to continue. Traditional video games are some of the most contained, restrained, and controlled worlds imaginable. Beautiful walled gardens built for players to play within them, but only within them, right? And the whole gaming industry is like valued over like 170 billion, and it's growing. And it's worth more than movies and music combined at the moment. What you can see here, what I've highlighted in red, is kind of the negative side of it. So there's much at stake for game publishers that feel the need to restrict control on games in order to protect their profits, right? So you have to keep in mind that the gaming industry is not going to be a big fan of this because they'll lose out on a lot of money. And there's actually a current court case which is highlighted here. Let me quote. In court, Tencent underscores its terms and conditions, specifying that any virtual item acquired by players have no real-world value and will forever remain property of Tencent. Even the game's virtual coin, which players buy from the platform to be exchanged for other in-game items, that represents service charges, according to Tencent, that is. In short, players are not allowed to trade their in-game assets outside the platform because they never actually owned those assets to begin with, right? So I highlighted this part because I thought it was just very important to understand that with the current setup, you own nothing and you don't have the right to do anything with it, basically. But that's all changing, right? And here we go. Because games and assets are provided to users on a licensing basis, this means that they are not owned by the player, they are rented, right? And that has also another negative side, and that's what I've highlighted here, is that everything can be wiped out in an instant without any recourse. And they mention a few things here, which is good to be aware of, I guess. So catastrophic failures can occur, such as like a fire or a flood at like a critical data center that wipes out progress accounts or even entire worlds. But also like shifting regulations and licensing agreements that can also deprive players of the games. But I just want to go down here to like the kind of where the future is going, right, towards the digital property rights, because they mention NFTs here as well, right? And a lot of people see NFTs as to do with like maybe only art, And I just wanted to show you like the cool upsides it also has, right? So you're enabled by blockchains, and NFTs are unique, indivisible tokens that grant owners property rights and enable digital assets to have real value, independent of the platform, right? Now, this is great for gamers, but many, so this is another quote, kind of going back to what I said previously, but many traditional game publishers fear that this new dynamic will have negative impact on our profits, of course, because they no longer have full control. And another cool thing to know about NFTs, and if you've been following the space, you should know this already, but NFTs allow for interoperability across and cross-platform functionality, right? Meaning that the digital assets themselves become the center of the player experience. Essentially, the content will become the platform. Just as you can now own a single set of chess pieces, and that can be played on many different boards, you will eventually be able to own NFT add-ons that can be used in different games. Or can have like access to different virtual worlds, right? So that's. I just wanted to highlight that, just to kind of make it very clear. NFTs are coming. It's going to be a game changer, and the interoperability between different games is going to be very cool. Okay, just kind of to dive in a little bit more into that, I've got this next article: sci-fi, blockchain, or reality. The Ready Player One Oasis can be built. So I don't know if you've seen the movie. If you haven't, I definitely recommend watching it. Not necessarily because it's an amazing movie with an amazing story, more that it kind of gives you an idea of where I guess where this gaming world is heading to, or maybe not exactly the same, but it'll give you a bit of a look into that space. I'm going to skip a good part of the article here, but I just want to go down to the part I've highlighted here, because it basically says the same as the previous, but it says it like maybe in a little bit different way that makes it easier to understand. So here, further development will see future gamers offloading excess in-game items to reclaim real-world value, right? So I think that's very important to understand, that actual stuff that you unlock in-game, players will be looking to, say, sell that or swap that, or like as it says here, to reclaim real-world value. So stuff that you do in-game will actually benefit you outside of the game. Then to continue here, value is largely siloed at the moment to the respective game as it exists on a particular platform. In this way, an individual playing a Call of Duty would not be able to exchange that value for another player, say, playing FIFA or Fortnite. More significantly, interoperability doesn't exist between gaming networks of the likes like, say, Microsoft and Sony. Furthermore, isolating the enormous potential exchange of value between those worlds. And on the contrary, blockchain-enabled gaming grants players the ability to bring their assets to decentralized exchanges and conduct value swaps, much like those seen on automated market makers, such like SushiSwap or Uniswap. These platforms operate a little different from the centralized crypto exchanges like a Binance or a Coinbase, in that there's no central authority approving these transactions. Instead, the authority of the funds and trades is distributed among its users, removing like a single point of failure. So I thought that was pretty cool as well, just to point out that interoperability between games is going to become more and more important. Okay, next one up here is the Russia's famous Hermitage Museum aims to raise funds with NFTs. So here we go. The Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg is considering issuing NFTs for works of art from its rich collection and is holding talks with Binance on the matter. The museum's management expects tokens to bring extra funding. However, there's one issue, and that's also provided Russian authorities exempt NFTs from current digital asset regulations. Now, once again, I'm not going through the whole article, but I do want to read this part here, which says, for the Hermitage to issue its tokens, Russia's legislation governing the sector may require some clarification. Marina Tsiguleva, I hope I pronounced that okay, head of the museum's legal department, said that this type of token may be taken out of the scope of the digital assets regulations, as the Central Bank of Russia has proposed, according to her statement. So that's very interesting. So apparently Russia is already looking at treating NFTs a bit different. Just want to mention that. So that you've got these traditional, I guess, real-world museums that are now looking for extra ways to make money by creating NFTs from the arts that they already have. And the last one I wanted to go through here today is this one, which is virtual real estate takes off with backing from billionaire Mike Novogratz. Now, my highlighting wouldn't work here on this page, but there's just one point that I kind of wanted to show you here is this. The virtual real estate market is taking off. Crypto billionaire and investor Mike Novogratz, venture capitalist firm Galaxy Interactive, is making a substantial investment in virtual real estate developer Public Realm. So why is this interesting? I thought this was pretty cool because recently Republic Realm had a $10 million funding. Let me see 1 second. That's not the one I wanted to talk about. But basically, what they're doing is they're buying digital land. Here we go. 2 weeks ago, Republic Realm also made headlines when it bought a plot of virtual land for nearly $1 million. And what they then do is with that land, they then rent it out for people who say want to use it to sell NFTs, which was somewhere here as well. Republic Realm buys real estate in digital worlds and develops that digital land with a team of game designers and 3D imagers. Digital stores can then be rented out to tenants who sell NFTs and other digital assets. And I just picked this article to highlight that I think it's pretty cool that people are now buying virtual space and then letting it out, just like in the real world. So something to look into, I guess, as well. That's it for today. That's the NFT news catch up from my side, and catch you in the next one.